What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Crypto Crow, and today I wanted to do something completely different than I ever normally do because I found this video, and of course I was curious when it popped up, and I thought, I wonder if I'm intelligent or not. I've always kind of wondered, and I thought maybe some of you guys as well. And apparently this is a bit of a little 8 questions, eight not really questions, but struggles that highly intelligent people had. And I thought, well, I wonder if I have any of those. And I started watching. I got to the second one and I thought, I bet you these are good things that other people might appreciate. So I thought, you know what, I'll share this for this morning. It's really early in the morning. I'm working on trading. And I thought, well, let's give this a shot. And so we'll break it up and share my thoughts. So let's check it out and see what they have to say.
Hey, Psych2Goers. Welcome back to another Psych2Go video. So, what is intelligence, really? We know it isn't as simple as an IQ score, which is something even Stephen Hawking thoroughly denounced. And we can likely agree that Mr. Hawking was quite intelligent. Intelligence is a complex, multi-dimensional construct that can mean a variety of things for a variety of different people. So it can be hard to put into words what it all means. But no matter what definition you may adhere to, there's one thing all of us can agree on. You know intelligence when you see it. A highly intelligent person is someone who's gifted at analyzing concepts and building upon them to form a better understanding of the world and those around them, how everything is connected, and why things are the way they are. These people often have remarkably high IQs, academic achievements, and go on to become successful leaders and trailblazers in their fields. Wondering if you're one of them? Let's look at 8 struggles only highly intelligent people will understand. 1. You get bored with small talk. If you've ever heard the quote, "Great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, small minds discuss people," this is what it means. Highly intelligent people aren't drawn to what they consider the unimportant details of life. Chatting about the game or the neighbor's newest lawn flamingo isn't something they see as a must-talk-about item. Rather, they enjoy discussing ideas and concepts in anything from art to science. They think in ways of the deep, the abstract, and the thought-provoking, meaning small talk feels exhausting and time-wasting. 2. You're careful with your words.
Okay, so that first one, I definitely do not do small talk well at all. I don't talk about the weather. I don't really talk about sports. I don't talk about any of that stuff. So I will say that one definitely hits home. I typically like to talk about whatever it is I'm learning at the time. So, my wife has to put up with the numbing conversations that we have about anything from the political sphere to trading to crypto to whatever. I generally, I don't dive into a lot of abstract thought, though. I don't sit around and ponder the meaning of the universe so much. But I definitely am not one for small talk in the sense that if I'm around people, oh, what a beautiful day today. Cool. I don't really, that stuff goes right through me. I don't really think much of it. I don't particularly care to talk about a lot of that kind of stuff. I like learning. I like being around people I can learn from. And that's generally, I feel like, why my circle is kind of small. It's my wife. So yeah, that one definitely hits home for me.
Around you often describe you as reserved or overly serious. Many smart people tend to think more than they speak. This means that if they choose to share something, it's highly likely they've considered it from every possible angle, with rationale and logic to back up the conclusions they've come to. All this preparation, though, can mean long silences while they construct the thought, which then gives the impression of being reserved or overly serious, which leads to the next struggle.
Yeah, that one definitely doesn't hit me. I am quite verbose in anywhere I am. I do have severe social anxiety to a large extent. I know I've done public speaking. Some of you guys have seen me out there doing, big public speaking, but that's different to me. because I'm more giving a presentation and I'm more there specifically to share what I think or what my opinions are about different things. But in a social setting where people are standing around, cocktail bars and engaging in whatever kind of small talk, I guess you could say, whatever. I don't function well like that. I get really anxious, and I tend to start putting on kind of a performance where, I adopt kind of the role of someone else. And then by the time it's all said and done, I'm exhausted. I get really, really tired. Pretty much anything I do socially, I get really exhausted by, because I'm definitely putting on a role. Otherwise, because my normal way is to just kind of sit and not talk that much. But I feel obligated, especially given my size. I feel like I have to put other people at ease. When you're around a 7-foot guy with tattoos and things, people can be like, oh, I wonder what this guy's up to, what's he about? And so I tend to try and intentionally put people at ease with lots of jokes, lots of, just kind of a comedic personality. So, but I definitely, I'm not one to like sit idly by and be that quiet, reserved, stoic type, just because I feel like that would make people nervous.
3. You're socially awkward. Here's where the common movie trope of the awkward nerd comes in. You've seen it. The wide-eyed stare as a smart person realizes their response is awaited in silence. Or their cringe-inducing statement made at exactly the wrong time earned them the disgust of the popular kids forevermore. Okay, we admit it, the media displays this in an exaggerated manner. However, they aren't all wrong. The awkwardness is even backed up in research. A study by Davidson in 2015 showed that people who have a high IQ tend to have a lower EQ, or emotional intelligence quotient, which is what helps us form relationships and hone our social skills. Life, it's all about trade-offs. 4. You struggle to make good friends. Is making true friends and finding your...
So that one is definitely... Yeah, that's an interesting one. I mean, I'm not sure where I would place on that. I feel like a lot of my social awareness and all that stuff is kind of fabricated, I think, to some extent. It may sound bad, but it all comes from a good place. It's just I'm not really good in a social crowd. Even if we're out, if things start getting really crowded, I get really, really anxious, and we're typically gone. We typically leave. I don't feel comfortable in that kind of environment. So yeah, we'll touch back on this one here.
Friends and finding your crowd somewhat of a challenge for you? Some people are highly intimidated by intelligence and the perception that someone is too smart for them. They feel like they can't relate, or perhaps they're not smart enough. People don't generally like to feel this way, so their response is to simply not befriend the smart person. The highly intelligent person is still the person, and people get lonely. If you can relate to this, you may think, if it's my intelligence that drives people away, then should I dumb it down for acceptance? Well, ideally, you're drawn to other people in the same intelligence sphere as you. They may be rare, but they're out there. 5. You don't get out much.
Wow, this one's about to get me emotional. This is hitting hard. It's interesting because I definitely don't have a large circle of friends at all. I don't know if I have any. So I guess that's kind of a stigma. I never really attribute it to me being intelligent or anything, just that I don't really know how to connect with a lot of people, if I'm honest. I don't know how to connect with people that, I don't really trust many people. I'm not one of the bros, I don't engage in a lot of the stuff that I feel is very common amongst people or men in general. So I just don't have many friends. I have a couple people that I talk to every once in a while about like social events and things since moving. But yeah, that really hits home because I just, my friend is my wife. That's it. I don't really engage anyone else. I don't really have any. I have old school friends from when I was a kid, but you don't even talk to those guys much, And then now I'm seeing this number 5. You don't get out much. I never leave the house. So, I mean, if I leave the house, it's for a family dinner. Interesting.
Much. If you're highly intelligent, you'll most likely struggle in social situations. You aren't so good at small talk and find it hard to make friends. What effect does this have on the bigger picture? It could mean you don't get to go out much, so you focus heavily on academics, throwing yourself into work. Even if you generally enjoy academic pursuits, the severe life imbalance between work and social integration eventually leads to overwork, unhappiness, and possibly low self-esteem. 6. You're overly analytical. Have you ever heard of paralysis by analysis? Well,
man, this is hitting. I don't know. This thing's reading me like a book. I don't even know what to say. I feel like I'm getting read hard. The thing is that, I mean, when I was in grade school, I was so bad. And I was always in trouble. And, yeah, man, this is blowing my mind a little bit. I haven't seen all of this. I saw the first couple things and I thought, this is interesting. Let's share it and see how much do we have in common. And I'm not doing this as like, oh, look at me, I'm so smart. It's not at all what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to say, hey, this is interesting. It might be something because a lot of us in the crypto sphere, maybe we fall into some of these categories, and maybe some of this stuff are things that we should all work on and really, try to further engage one another, I guess, if we're all like-minded. So, yeah, I don't even know what to say. This stuff is tripping me out.
This is a common struggle for the highly intelligent person. It happens when you're crippled by always needing to know the correct answer, or the most correct answer, or making the best decision. Do you always struggle with indecisiveness? Just like how you think thoroughly of all the angles before saying something in conversation, you do the same thing before you make a decision or give an answer. You also tend to be able to find so many angles, pros and cons, that it can end up making you more indecisive. There is so much input that it clogs your output. 7. Your mind constantly craves exercise.
So on that one, I don't really feel like I'm ever indecisive. I feel like I'm very decisive, if anything. So this is definitely not me. I feel like anytime anything is going on, I'm processing things in real time and making a decision. And I always say I'm always right sometimes. I don't know if it's a confidence thing over an intelligence thing. I genuinely feel like I make decisions based off of what I feel is right or wrong. I make decisions based off of what I feel is going to be more productive, things like that. And I definitely feel confident in my ability to make decisions on the fly that I'm confident in. So that definitely doesn't hit me. I don't sit around pondering the what ifs and the maybes and everything else ad nauseum and just kind of go off into, thought space because I can't make a decision. That's definitely not me at all.
Exercise. Being a highly intelligent person means you enjoy and need constant intellectual stimulation. In short, your mind has the munchies. You always want to do something that engages your brain skills, dips you in a new discovery, or lets you stretch your thinking muscles. This means simple everyday tasks or already solved problems feel like a drag. Pretty soon, so many things feel been there, done that the search for the next thing becomes arduous.
This definitely hits me. If you guys watch my channel, I'm always talking about all the different books I've got going on. And I think that's one of the reasons why I've settled on trading of late, because it's such a challenging, constantly evolving puzzle. I was just telling my wife about this. It's one of those things that if you get really, really good at it, it's something to be proud of, right? Because there's so many different systems and so many different ways to go about the same problem, and in a living, breathing space that is the market. So, but whether it's robotics or gaming or, I'm just constantly I get bored so easily that I have to be constantly learning something new, because otherwise I get real depressed. Like I have to be doing something. And so that definitely hit. Definitely hit.
8. You're always feeling pressured to succeed. If we may paraphrase the late, great Uncle Ben, with great intelligence comes great expectation. If you're a highly intelligent person, you've probably felt that somewhat indirect pressure to succeed. From who? From everyone. Yes, much of it comes from within, however. Every time your friend casually says, "So, another 4.0 this semester?" or "Drinks on you for being Employee of the Month again, right?" a little part of your mind nudges you, saying, "This is your place. You need to be here. Always." So you end up pushing yourself to constantly prove your intelligence, leading to exacerbated perfectionist tendencies and an unhealthy, disproportionate fear of failure. Do you relate to any of the struggles mentioned in this video?
I definitely relate to some of the struggles in this video. I think when it comes to the constant drive to be successful, I have had a thing in my head since, for as long as I can remember being a kid. And I feel like as a man, especially in today's society, I feel like the pressure to find success is so vast, that just constantly, the way society has molded men into basically being nothing more than, workhorses to provide for a family that generally doesn't give a shit about them anymore, to paying the taxes, to I feel like the toxicity in society today has really ruined the nuclear family, the idea of having a family at all. And so for me, I'm so grateful for my family that my wife is amazing. Our daughter's amazing. There is a lot of pressure, and especially when sometimes you can feel like the world is falling apart around you, there's even more pressure to try and prepare yourselves, prepare your family and things to be able to get out of Dodge if it got too bad, if things get, unbearable. Not really understanding the direction things are going on a regular basis, and all of those kinds of things basically drive you further to make more money, to be more secure, to feel more secure. And so yeah, there's definitely a constant drive to be successful. I'm a high school dropout. You know what I mean? I left high school in the 10th grade. I couldn't stand it. I just couldn't stand it. I couldn't bear it. I felt like everything I was doing was wasting time. And so I definitely didn't have that drive as a kid where, I got to get a 4.0. I got to get insanely good grades because I got to go off to some indoctrination camp that wants to bleed me financially and keep me in debt for 30, 40 years. Like I never had those goals. I definitely didn't fall into that trap. So, I've always believed that depending on what it is you're trying to accomplish in the world, you can do it on your own. Start a business. That was my college, starting a business out of high school, and learning, start another business, keep going. That was my college, learning the things I really needed to learn in the world to try and do well. So yeah, I definitely say these all hit, and hopefully they help you guys maybe understand yourselves a little bit. This is all from a channel called Psych to Go. Oh wow, 11.6 million subscribers. So there you go. Obviously very popular channel. So Psych to Go, check it out if you're curious about some of the other things. I think I saw something pop up here. I can't remember what it was about, but I'm like, oh, that looks interesting. So there's a lot of that stuff. So let me know in the comments below how many of you guys and gals out there, how did this resonate with you? I'm actually curious, and one of the reasons I did this is because I'm curious as to the mentality of my followers, my subscribers on this channel, and those of us that are in crypto. Like what how different are we in this kind of crypto world? So I'd love to hear your thoughts down below, and make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and overall grow your coins. And I'll see you again soon. It's first thing in the morning for me. It's the first thing I've done. Just kind of getting my bearings for the day. So I'll be curious to see what you guys think. Have a good one.